So Kamaru Usman defeated Joaquin Buckley by unanimous decision on Saturday. It was a dominant performance. Buckley came back at the end, like I predicted, wasn't able to finish it, and it was just the wrestling of Kamaru Usman. You could say that was what was gonna happen. You can go back in hindsight and say, "Oh, I knew Usman was gonna win." Majority of us picked Buckley to win because of the time off, because of the fact he was on a three-fight losing streak, and we were wrong. So, going before we get into round by round, going into this fight, we need to talk about what this fight was about. Kamaru Usman, former champion, dominant champion, had what 6 or 5 or 6 title defense. Defense actually, we can go over here. He had um 1, 2, 3, yeah, 5 title defenses with the belt. Lost it to Leon Edwards in a fight that he was winning 4 rounds to nothing. I thought he won the first 4 rounds. I haven't watched that fight in a while. But goes up, faces Hamza Chimaev on short notice, 10 days notice. Goes to a very close decision. Some people thought Usman won. Some people thought Hamza Chimaev won. But it was a really close fight. Then he decides to take time off, spend time with his family, work on himself, and he returns this June to face my boy, my favorite fighter, Joaquin Buckley. Now, Joaquin Buckley, being on a tear, 6-0 in the welterweight division, just stopped Colby Covington. Um, Kamaru Usman's one of Kamaru Usman's best wins, 2 of his title defenses. But when we got in the cage, Kamaru Usman got him down immediately and pummeled him on the ground, landing massive ground and pound, landing elbows, actually cut Joaquin Buckley open in this round. But it was a dominant round. I wouldn't say a 10-8, but I mean 41 strikes to one takedown, and he's able to keep him there for the entire duration of the round. We move into round two. It's the exact same thing. Kamaru Usman shoots a takedown, gets denied, gets him down after the fact, and controls him, pummels him on the ground, and gets Joaquin Buckley tired. This is exactly what I thought these 2 rounds would be. And the turning point for me, I thought would be round three. But once again, Kamaru Usman proved me wrong. Once again, he looked good on the feet. Kamaru Usman has a really good jab. He has a really good jab. I still think when it comes to the striking, Kamaru Usman is never going to be a top striker. But working with triple women, he has the fundamentals down. During his title reign, you saw against Colby, especially against Jorge in the second fight, he has drilled boxing religiously. And he was going up against, this one of the scariest strikers, the boogeyman in this division. You go into round four, a little bit more competitive. Buckley starts to get in the fight, lands a couple decent strikes. Still though, Usman gets him down. Uh, 2 of his takedowns are defended, but he's able to put the work in on the ground, land the shots, and smother Joaquin Buckley. Then in round five, Joaquin Buckley came back, defended um, 6 takedowns, and looked good. He was going for the finish, which everybody on this card, whether they lost or won, everybody was working to win the fight. Lately it's not really common now. So Kamaru Usman wins, I think 249-46 is 148-47, and he's back, man. Kamaru Usman is back. He took nearly 2 years off after the Hamzat fight. And when I watched his pre-fight press conference and his post-fight press conference, he said a lot of things that I really like to hear from a MMA fighter, from one of the best to do it, where he basically, I'm paraphrasing, he basically reinvented himself. He spent time with his family. He went out, took the time off to really understand, hey, when I'm gone from this sport, will I miss it? Can I succeed outside the sport? And he has his podcast. He has, you know, all these other business ventures. But that's something that John Jones has done multiple times. Whether it's because he's taken the time off intentionally or, you know, certain events happened, John Jones did it. GSP did it after the Johnny Hendricks fight. And for fighters at that level, getting the confidence back, taking that time off to learn you will be good after the fact. Kamaru Usman was able to come in and fight the way he used to. Because we saw him grapple against Hamza Chimaev, but that's Hamza Chimaev. We saw him grapple against Leon Edwards in the first fight, but he's relying on the striking. And then obviously in the third, Leon Edwards just beat him on the feet. Colby Covington, the second fight, again, we saw a bit of wrestling, but mainly working on the feet, using his boxing, knocking out Jorge Masvidal in the second round at UFC 261. I The first fight was on short notice, right? Yeah. So this was the fight, right? We were all hyped. The peak of Masvidal's uh, stardom, and he goes in there, lands a big red cross, has one of the cleanest knockouts in the sport against a guy who, has only been finished a few times. We believe is highly skilled on the feet. He is highly skilled on the feet. But again, he was coming off of the Ben Askren flying knee. He was coming after KOing Darren Till. Darren Till, a guy I love. He's hilarious. I like his style. He got pushed by the UFC way too quick at a way too early age, and he hit the wall. I think that Darren Till can come back. I think that Darren Till can be a contender. I don't think he can win a belt, but I think he can be a contender. Then you have Gilbert Burns, a training partner of Kamaru Usman, where they had to leave camp, or Gilbert Burns had to leave the camp, or I forgot if Burns was with Whitman or not. Anyways, former training partners. He goes out there. He outworks Gilbert, and he KOs Gilbert Burns. And this isn't Gilbert Burns now, right? This is Gilbert Burns in 2021. This is peak Gilbert Burns, a highly skilled jiu-jitsu fighter, a lot of power in the hands, and he was able to finish him. Yeah, the first Jorge fight on short notice, like we were talking about, where he just outworked Corey Marshall. Colby Covington, the man, Madison Square Garden, UFC 245. This was an unbelievable fight. Obviously, Colby Covington, we know Colby. He promotes his fights. He has his character. Whether you like the character, whether you don't, that is not the point. He went out there against a guy with the exact same record that was also destroying, beating guys. And in a similar way, he wasn't finishing many people. He was winning a lot of unanimous decisions. He had that fight with Robbie Lawler where he landed something like 500 strikes. Um, insane performance. And then you had the Tyrone Woodley fight at UFC 235. This was, you know, Jones. Oh, I thought it was Jones Reyes. It's Jones Smith. They were the co-main event, I believe, or no, there was another title fight. I think there was a women's title fight. But he goes in there against Tyrone Woodley, and he outgrapples Woodley the same way he does in most of his fights. And I was never the biggest Tyrone Woodley fan, but kind of like Kamaru Usman, I appreciate Tyrone Woodley after he lost the belt and when he went on that losing streak, sadly enough. But again, Tyrone Woodley at the time was on the trajectory of is he on the level of GSP or not? Which Kamal went on to get into that conversation. Rafael dos Anjos, he beat by unanimous decision, former lightweight champion. Damian Maya, you know, veteran of the UFC for how many years, one of the scariest submission artists, goes out there beats him. Elmer Weber make I have no clue that is Sergio Moraes. He knocks out in the first round. He beat Sean Strickland all the way back to 2017, which age to be a really good win. Sean Strickland was 18-1 at that time. Went on to walk Israel Adesanya down. A lot of people thought he won the first fight against DDP. And then obviously he had the second fight in February where DDP won that pretty clearly. Warley Alves, unanimous decision, Alexander Yakolev. Yeah, the fight with Leon Edwards in 2015, a very close fight. Leon Edwards did not lose a fight, or no. I think Leon Edwards didn't lose a fight after this fight. He might have lost to somebody else, I forgot. But, unanimous decision, UFC on Fox. Shout out UFC on Fox. That was the best time to be a UFC fan. Uh, submitted Haidar Hassan and his actual debut came in on the Contender Series. Had two decision wins over Steve Cole, Mike Graves, Marcus Hicks, and Randall Naves. So, this is a guy that came in and at his peak was unstoppable. He only got submitted in his second fight, right? And he was number one pound for pound. It looked like he was in a surprise GSP before the Leon fight. And now he comes back and destroys Joquin Buckley. Joquin Buckley, a guy who came down from middleweight before this fight, stopped Colby Covington in a better fashion than Kamaru Usman did. MMA math, everybody. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, former multiple time title challenger. KO was in the third round against Spence. Bruce Boev, he out-grappled. Vicente Luque, he TKO'd Alex Morono. He beat by unanimous decision. Andre Fiala, he KO'd with a head kick. Was that the spinning head kick? I forgot. Chris Curtis. Um, gets TKO'd. Nasruddin Imavov. He loses a unanimous decision to or is now the number one contender. Albert Drive, Dr. Stoppage of the Razak Al Hassan beats by unanimous decision. And KO lost. KO got knocked out by Kevin Holland, but Kevin Holland is massive. And a lot of fighters say he's the heaviest striker or heaviest hitter that they fought. Um, TKO'd Jackie Gosh, Chris Harris, lost to Logan Storley in Bellator, went on a 2-win streak, and lost his first fight by KO to Jackie Gosh when they were both undefeated, and had 3 KOs in his first 5 professional fights. Joquin Buckley at welterweight is a scary match for anybody. Now, Colby filled the holes in the wrestling, like I said. Kamaru Usman just laid out the game plan for Joquin Buckley. But I do believe that Buckley, being 31, just hitting his stardom, I think he'll be around at the top of the division still. I think there's a lot of really good fights for him. And I can honestly see potentially a rematch depending on how long Kamaru Usman is here. If he wins the belt somehow against Islam, maybe we get the rematch. Not very likely, but I do think Buckley with experience will have a better fight. Now, let's go over to the welterweight rankings and see where these two and all right, and who they should fit. Got JDM just beat Bilal for the bell in a good fight. Sean Brady just submitted Leon Edwards in his last fight. Only lost is a TKO loss to Bilal Muhammad, the former champion. Shavkat Rakhmonov, 19-0, just beat Ian Gary by unanimous decision. Should be the next guy to fight for the title. Again, 18 finishes, all that stuff. However many in the UFC, I forgot. Think it's like 8 or 9. Ian Gary just had a really good fight against Carlos Prates to rebound off of the shot, got lost. For that, beat Michael Benham Page, but I thought Michael Benham Page won that fight. Beat Jeff Neil Magny, Daniel Rodriguez, Keenan Sean. Ian Gary needs to show what he can do against the top guys. I think, spoiler alert, Joquin Buckley versus Ian Gary is the fight to make. Joquin Buckley already going after Ian Gary, calling them names, being one of the boys, know what's up. Very weird dynamic that Ian Gary has with his wife. But again, I'm single. I have no girlfriend or anything, so I can't judge, but I will. Michael Moraes just got a TKO over Gilbert Burns, and he's undefeated. He is scary as hell. He has insane power. Gilbert Burns, Neil Magny back to back. Went to a decision against Jake Matthews, who again isn't a top contender, but a solid fighter. Max Griffin beat by decision, TKO'd Adam Forget, beat Trevor Delves, and beat Nikolai Veretnikov. Then you got Leon Edwards coming off with the losses to Bilal and the dominant loss to Sean Brady, Jeff Neal. Kamaru Usman at 10, he's about to jump up. But I don't see these guys fighting outside the top 10. I feel like, but with Kamaru Usman, I know he's calling for a title fight. But again, 3 losses in a row. I know 2 of them were to Leon Edwards. And I know the other one was on short notice. But again, the optics of giving a guy a title shot off of one win after losing 3 in a row look terrible. And you already have fans pissed off about Yair getting a title shot off of beating a shell of himself in Patricio Pitbull. For Kamaru Usman, do the Bilal Muhammad fight. You already got the beef and Bowman on the podcast, and apparently they got into an altercation. Promote that. Bilal Muhammad wants to make his way back to the title. He's around the same age as Kamaru Usman. It's a perfect fight. It's a perfect fight. You can put Kamaru Usman in a co-main event of the pay-per-view. And then the winner of this can go on and fight the winner, JDM versus Islam Makhachev. Joquin Buckley, I think it's simple. I don't know why Ian Gary is number 5 off of beating Carlos Prates. Um, Even though Carlos Prates is on a good run, but this fight right here, you have a guy with 4 TKOs in the welterweight division, 6-1 now against the future Ian Gary, who, all jokes aside, really talented striker, has a bit of a grappling game, and it'd be fun to see a a sniper versus a brawler. Those tend to be the funnest matchups in the UFC. I think this is the perfect fight. I think this is a fight that makes complete sense right now. Ian Gary already has beef with JDM after playfully putting M&M's around him during his weight cut, putting him on the scale, and JDM replying with, "Yeah, I don't think that's his kid." Um, but yeah, shout out JDM. You are a legend. That's kind of what I see next for them. Then, if Kamaru Usman can beat Bilal Muhammad, fuck it, I don't want to see it. But they're gonna make the um Usman fight, and then for Brockway, if he gets past Ian Gary, I think he needs to face a grappler. And if he can beat Ian Gary, I think it's a horrible matchup for him. I think it's a really good fight, though. I think he fights Sean Brady to really test him in the grappling department, to have the striking match. And if he's able to beat Sean Brady, who, if he hasn't fought JDM, or the winner of Islam, yeah, well, the winner of JDM Islam, my brain just turned off. I think Buckley needs to face a grappler like that to really get back to the belt. And if Brady has the belt, then who should he fight? Let me get another name here. I mean, he should honestly fight Bilal. That would make the most sense. But that's what I thought about the fight. I finally talked about my favorite fighter, Rosen. Let me know in the comments. What did you think about Kamaru Usman versus Joquin Buckley? What stood out to you during the fight? And what do you want to see next for both Kamaru Usman and Buckley? Thanks for watching.